Well, fellas, we did it. This is episode 1 of our Step Into Our Phone Booth podcast. This is Tyler Bame. I am joined with Dexter,
What's up?
Tanner, and Jordan. God, you know we've talked about this for a while now. I don't know how long ago we first mentioned we should start a podcast, just talk about sports, just have a good time, and it's finally here now, fellas. How does it feel?
Well, I think it's a mixed emotion kind of deal. I think I'm personally very excited for it, but I'm also today was a cluster. I'm just gonna say it. Nothing worked the way we wanted it to. It's the first episode. I mean, what the heck?
Yeah,
Shouldn't be this hard. But
that's how
uh,
that's how
I'm
every
excited.
feels like.
That's the gist.
There you go. What
I think
kind of
there's a
you were
lot
kind
of
of the one that
uncertainty as
really
we address this.
It's a good point.
you were kind of the one that really initiated this, Dexter. What really got you motivated to set this up finally, and what was kind of your
Second
thought
being interviewed,
process
I love it.
through it?
Hey, you know what? That's a great question, Tyler, and I'd love to answer that. So basically, we have been talking about this for probably the last 2 years. We've been saying, hey, you know what? Our conversations are pretty awesome and people would love to hear them. And that's probably not true. But at the end of the day, still be exciting to go back and watch these when we're, 50 years old and see how dumb we were. So,
Sure,
yeah, I
kid.
mean, it really comes down to we had a good buddy of ours, Mitch, knew him in high school. He has a podcast. It's doing really well. And he finally just kind of pushed us along to make this happen. So,
Yep.
see how it goes.
Well, we can explain more through the different episodes about what got us to finally want to start a podcast. But I say we kind of jump right in. First topic, the obvious one coming up. We got Super Bowl here next weekend, next Sunday. What is everyone's key matchups? What's their predictions? Jordan, you want to start first?
I'm going with the Eagles. That's just me because I know Mahomes and Kelsey aren't 100% yet. So
It's a solid pick.
I don't know. I think the Eagles just have more powerhouses than the Chiefs do at this point in time. So I'm going to go with the Eagles.
Yeah, I tend to agree with that.
You got a final score prediction at all, or?
I'm going to say.
You just want to do like an over-under kind of deal? You think it's going to be over 40 points?
I don't know if it'll be that high.
More of a defensive deal then, huh?
Yeah, the Eagles' defense is pretty dang good. So,
Well, as of
that's it.
what's today, the 3rd, FanDuel's got the over-under set at 50.5.
50.5, huh? That might be a tough one to get.
That's
50.5.
Good
payout to it though.
But both teams can put up numbers, so
That's true. That's very true. Who knows?
I'd have to agree with Jordan. The Eagles defense. I think the key matchup is going to be Eagles defense. Specifically their front 7 versus the Chiefs front 5 or 6, depending on what they run. Eagles led the league in sacks this year with 70. Let me pull out my notes here. They were 4th in the league in interceptions and forced fumbles. They led the league in total yards given up this year. So, and I know that Patrick Mahomes can sling the ball, but I don't know for sure if they'll be able to move the ball as well as they've moved it in the past.
I mean, if his ankle feels better, then I feel like he'll do really good. But if it's still sore, then I don't know.
Yeah,
He kind of
'cause
struggled in his last game. So
Mhm.
if I remember right, it was his push off ankle, correct?
yeah,
So that's, you especially saw it in their first game against the Jags when he initially injured it. He wasn't getting much zip on those throws. So it'll last week he looked pretty darn good, but we'll see if it's better having 2 weeks off. And
Yeah, a little rest. I mean, you got to like that for him. This is a guy that I think if he is healthy, he's going to play lights out. He always does under pressure. But I mean, you know me, I being a Broncos fan, I just can't pick the Chiefs. Yeah, I mean, I am. Eagles are going to destroy them. I hope it's Eagles by 70.
you know,
oh
this
shit.
weekend. So, yeah, that's what I hope.
high odds.
That's, don't have that on the bingo card, but
So if anyone is listening to this, pick the over. The Eagles are going to stomp that.
I don't think Vegas
Alternate
has
overs.
odds for something like that.
What do you
That's-
think, Tanner?
to be honest, I don't love either of these teams. I don't feel confident. Real quick here though, if you want over 71.5 total points in this game, sitting at plus 1060. Just FYI on FanDuel. Over 79.5
to get a field goal. So
plus 3,000 to hit 80 points. So you have options. Back to the question. I don't love either of these teams. I kind of lean towards the Chiefs a little bit. I think having some experience in this type of situation can be beneficial. Obviously, the Eagles were there a couple of years ago, but that was a completely different team, different coaching staff, a little bit of different everything. So that's there. To Tyler's point, though, Eagles do have a strong defense. Patrick Mahomes has thrown at least 2 interceptions in both of his previous Super Bowl matchups, so that's something to kind of think about. Also coming off a bum ankle there, but I'm going to lean with the Chiefs. I think it's hopefully going to be semi close, but we'll see what happens. Still got a week to decide.
yeah, I agree with that. Is Jalen Hurts a good enough quarterback though to stay cool under pressure right now?
I feel like he is.
I mean, I think he is, but he's never really played in a game like this. And he did play for Alabama. He played.
He is young, and if you think about it, his only other big playoff game that he's ever had, he was subbed out
for Tua. Yeah,
for Tua. So I don't know if kind of those demons are going to come back to haunt him a little bit. Might get
question. I think the team is obviously their team skilled player wise. I think is elite compared to the Chiefs now. Outside of quarterback, tight end, that might be it.
One thing I will say that goes against what I thought. Chiefs had to play some darn good teams, some hot teams coming in.
NFC wasn't very
in
good.
The playoffs. A hot streaking Jaguars team with a good young quarterback in Trevor Lawrence. They had to come in and beat a tough Cincinnati team that they were 0-3 against coming into that matchup.
Yeah.
They definitely deserved this. But on the flip side, the Eagles had to play the Giants,
which turned out
them
late in
out.
the season. But I mean, I don't know if it's the same. I think we already lost Tyler.
Yeah, I think he's gone.
That was a good start. But no, I tend to agree with him a little bit. Both teams had some powerhouse teams that they had to get through, but Chiefs definitely had more of a powerhouse that they had to get through. I mean, the Bengals beating a very good Bills team, which granted the Bills typically throw that at the worst possible time. But I mean, I don't know. I think no matter which way you look at it, there's good teams on both sides of the ball this year.
But let's not forget, it was scripted that way.
Oh, that's right. Tyler, you're going to fall on that sword, buddy.
If it's the hill I die on, it's the hill I die on. I don't know what to tell you.
Hey,
I don't know if you saw that recent interview that who
Talking about Arian Foster.
yes, with Arian Foster. I mean,
You are
is
in
an
this
ex-
so
NFL
deep,
player.
buddy.
I don't think that you can necessarily say that. I mean, why? What does he have? What does he have to gain from lying about something like that? I don't think he has anything to gain.
Well, he's got nothing to lose either, right?
Yeah. I mean, I think it's just kind of a comical thing that everyone seems to think it's scripted.
What are
When
your arguments that it's not? Let's hear those. I want to hear those.
first off, do you
I'll
know
tell
how
you what
many
he has
people
to
would
gain.
need to be involved
True.
to script this?
You don't think that they could get people involved for something like that?
We're talking numbers of people to be involved,
Yeah,
Tyler.
you don't think that they
Tyler-
could do something like that?
It took 4 of us to figure out how to operate Zoom here tonight. You're going to script every single season, every single game of the NFL.
See, I feel like that's a lot of work for no reason.
True.
Look, the NFL makes billions
I'm
of
not saying-
dollars.
I'm-
They don't
I'm-
have enough
I'm
money
not
to
saying
pay
that
all these people to not
I'm not
say
saying
something.
it's not possible. I think it's possible. Do I think it's scripted every single season, all the time, 24/7? No.
You can't. That's not something you can pick and choose, though.
But you mean tell me some of those big games that they were just like, yeah, no, we'll just let it play out. No, someone has a hand in it. I don't know what, I don't know who, but
Okay. Well, future episode, you can come back with some examples and some research, and we can plan for this and script out
I mean, a
how
prime
this will
prime
take
example
place.
off the top of my head, the Rams Saints game where they completely blew the PI call that was blatantly obvious.
Yeah.
Okay, so we had a missed call. Life happens.
You can't.
I mean,
call
wasn't
that
there just a missed call in the NBA
You
on
cannot
LeBron
call
James
that a
2 weeks
missed
ago?
call.
True.
How is that a missed call? He didn't
missed
call it.
Exactly. He missed calling the call.
No. What happened to LeBron earlier this week when he went in for a layup and got smacked on the arm? That's a missed call.
Was it obvious?
Yes, it was obvious.
Okay. So that was obvious, and you're saying this pass interference call was obvious, and both were not called. I think A equals B here in this situation. I'm not a math expert, but based on this logic, I think our equation is balanced.
I don't think so.
I rest my case. Moving on, Tyler. Like I said, we'll come back to this one. Let's put a pin. Put a pin.
Put a pin. Put a bookmark right there.
All right. So is now a good time to give you guys the platform to really talk about the key player matchups here? Is that what's going on?
Oh, I kind of already went through that with the whole offensive line versus defensive line, but
yeah, but
the one part I would add is the Eagles really have to watch out for Pacheco.
Yeah, you're probably
If
right.
Pacheco goes off, Eagles have a very hard time stopping offensive powered running backs like a Pacheco. So that's my one key for the game.
He only has
he's a hard runner.
rushing yards on the postseason.
Yeah, but if you look
Also-
at the Eagles' history throughout the season, when they give up to running backs, they haven't performed well.
Yeah.
I don't know how that equates to wins and losses, but I don't think you want the Chiefs to gain momentum like that.
Also,
Yeah.
real quick, who's doing the national anthem?
Isn't it
I
like
think it's
Jones or
Luke.
something?
I think it's Luke Combs.
Yeah.
You think he's gonna be over or under like
I
the-
saw something out there where they
minute and a
said
half?
country singers have notoriously gone over.
Yeah.
Oh, it's not-
Majority.
It's Chris. It's the Tennessee whiskey guy.
Oh, Stapleton?
Yeah, Chris Stapleton.
Oh, he's definitely gonna
Yeah.
go.
Yeah,
I'm
I don't know
pretty
what
sure
the
it's-
what the number is, but I would lean over on that as well.
Yeah, that'd be my guess. But great question, Tyler. I mean, we only have technology at our disposal here. I guess I can just look that up.
My early lean on any other bets for this game, if that's a direction we're trending into. I think for the Chiefs, I would consider taking Mahomes to win MVP instead of taking the Chiefs to win. I think it's unlikely anyone else on the Chiefs would be considered for MVP in the scenario that they win. And so you just get better value taking Mahomes to win MVP instead of Chiefs money line.
Damn.
I don't know. I don't feel the same taking Hurts to win
Would you
MVP.
Said though.
I don't know because I don't like if Miles Sanders goes off, has 2 touchdowns,
I don't think I've
150
once seen
rushing
that man
yards.
go off. I'm not gonna lie.
but like, what's
Yeah,
Hurts gonna do?
Probably got AJ Brown in that mix. So do you look at AJ Brown as being somebody who is an MVP?
I don't know. Who was the last receiver, non-quarterback? Edelman? I mean, he comes to mind. I don't know if he was the last one, but he comes to mind.
He's older as well.
I think it was
AJ Brown,
Edelman.
one of those guys, he's older, so he's
Because
been
last year it was Cooper Cup last year.
Cooper Kupp, yeah.
Did Cup get it? Okay. But I don't know, like, I don't know if Brown would do it. Because what if it turns into a Devontae Smith? Like, I think Brown gets his touches. But I mean, I don't think.
Well, that's what I'm saying, though. I mean, if he went off, if he was the main target, because they're going to have to lock down Smith. We know that.
Mhm.
So that's what opens up.
I'd be more worried about Brown. I think Brown has a lot more potential to go off than Smith does.
He does, but I think people have already been locking him down pretty decent through the playoffs. So if they follow that same kind of script that you're talking about, Tyler, they're going to have to do something else. I mean, they've got, is it Goddard? Is their tight end?
Yes.
Mhm.
I think they're going to have to use him a lot.
And
Probably.
last couple weeks they have gone to him quite a bit.
That's not bad. And we were right, by the way. It is Chris Stapleton for the national anthem. But yeah. Any other key
some-
matchups or good betting tips here for the boys? I honestly I don't know anything about betting. I probably should figure it out more, but
I would if you could, I'd do a bet something like Hassan Reddick and Chris Jones to each have a sack.
some type of parlay.
Yeah.
You love those parlays.
You know, it's the only way to make money in sports betting.
It's the best way to lose your money in sports betting.
Yeah, that's true. I got a couple more here.
Other
Oh, go ahead.
Other one I would throw out, I will probably take this until I die. Opening kickoff to not be a touchback.
To not be a touchback.
You don't think it's gonna be a touchback? Has it
Nope.
not been in previous years or what?
I don't remember last year, but historically plays to not be a touchback because it is a brand new football that the kickers do not get to break in pregame, because then that kickoff ball immediately gets shipped to, I think, the Hall of Fame to be put on display. So it's a very hard ball, which kickers do not like, which means it's not going to travel as far.
And just for the hype of the game, you got to take it out.
And that too, if you don't take it out, like, hey, what are you doing? Come on.
That's true. Good
So
point.
those are
Who do you think is
Those are
going
my
to get
early
first
looks.
possession?
I think
Ooh.
Chiefs are going to win the toss and they're going to defer till the second half.
Do
I
they
don't-
score on their first possession though?
Chiefs or
I don't think so.
You don't think they score? You don't think they have?
I don't
something-
think either team scores on their first possession.
I wonder. I mean, because both teams have great offensive coordinators. They've got good guys up in the box. Do you think they don't have something scripted out pretty well for the first couple series of the game and get something done? Where the defense doesn't have
well,
time to figure it out.
Like you just said series, plural. We're talking first drive. First drive, I don't think it'll be a 3 and out for either team, but I
That's what I
don't
mean.
think they're putting points on the board.
I mean, the Chiefs can score in 3 plays.
They could.
So could the Eagles.
I don't know. I mean,
So if they have a
Cardinal
rhythm-
Stadium, not really designed for scoring.
how not?
It's just not a big fan of the stadium.
over
Is it
under.
not meant for scoring because the Cardinals play there and they never score?
Well, I
mean,
did see a
every other
stat.
team used to love scoring.
Whoever wins the Super Bowl is going to have more wins in Cardinal Stadium this year than the Cardinals.
That's
pretty
that's
sad.
hard to do, though.
Because the Eagles won there already and the Chiefs already won there this year. And allegedly the Cardinals only won one game because they were 0-11 at one point at home going back to last year.
Jeez. Yeah, that's not good. I didn't know that stat. That's crazy.
Yeah, it was going around because they had a Monday night game, I think, against the Saints. I don't remember if they won that one or not to break the streak. But going into it, they had not won going back to last year at home.
Yeah. I'm hesitant on the question. I mean, both teams have great offenses that can put points on the board, but they also have solid defenses. In my experience with defenses, though, a lot of it comes from like what they're going to run at some level, but you're kind of open like to trying to figure that out in that whole first series. That first drive that somebody gets, they've got that down to a system typically where they know exactly what's going to go on. They're going to be able to catch the defense off guard because they're going to probably be running some type of base defense. They're not going to have any type of scheme set yet in a lot of those situations, but maybe it's different for a Super Bowl.
Eagles blitz 49% of the time, which is fairly high.
Yeah, but
That's about
Mahomes is also a
50%
quarterback that can get that off.
when he's healthy.
When he's healthy, but also
And if
when
his offensive line
they've
is
got
healthy.
anybody that they can screen to. I mean,
Didn't
Chiefs are notorious for running
Tooney-
those little screen plays.
didn't Joe Tooney get injured last week? Was it just an ankle sprain or something? I thought he got injured.
I don't know.
I
I
think
haven't
he's the
watched.
center.
A lot to consider. Another week to pour over this information.
Who would have thought that there's this much analytics sports? I don't think I'd want to be setting the odds for a sports bet. There's too much to consider.
Yeah, there's a lot. I don't know.
I
I
think
mean,
they have
we
some
were-
algorithms and some.
Yeah, they're not really doing it anymore. They have it all set up to where the computer spits it out. But
Yeah.
like we were discussing this last night when we were at bowling, Tanner, and I think it honestly describes our podcast very well. You and Tyler are the stats guys. You guys bring up all the statistics. You guys know the players' names, whatever. Logan, me, and Jordan are more of the passion guys. Like we call it as we see it, what we feel is going to happen.
Yeah, you and Carson.
That's fair. My
So I think
2
that's gonna
years
bring a
of
fun
little
dynamic.
guy football.
Yeah, that's why you need the stats.
Yeah. Like,
No,
seem
I
like I
mean
know
that's
what I'm
what I like.
talking about.
That's a good. If we're talking about sports at all on this, that'll be a fun little dynamic where you guys come out and say, "No, actually, this is what you should think," and we're just not going to believe you.
And that's the way the cookie crumbles.
No, that's good. Well, Tyler, do you want to kick this off with some of the fantasy football results here, bud?
I was just about to say, let me go over the final results for our
Maybe
four-man
explain it a little bit first, because
fantasy football playoffs. So what we did was the winner of the regular season would determine the draft order, and we essentially draft a 10-man team, standard roster sizes, from the playoff teams that are available. And essentially we just do a snake draft. And so the draft order was myself, and then was it Dexter?
I think I was second. Yeah.
Dexter, and then my roommate Landon subbed in for Logan because Logan couldn't make it, and then Tanner brought up the rear. So, do you guys want me to go over rosters real quick? Who all took who, or just go over results?
Yeah, I mean, I would go ahead and go over the roster and maybe give somebody the chance to explain why they picked
All right.
maybe a certain quarterback, or
there's quite a few
teams.
There's quite a few on here that I have questions for, mainly for a certain person. But I'll start with myself. So I guess a special note for quarterbacks, we just made it a team quarterback. Same with kickers. We drafted special kickers, but in the case that they got injured, I'd do their team kicker. But so for myself at quarterback, I had the Bengals quarterback. Running backs, I took Jared McKinnon and Ezekiel Elliott. For wide receivers, I took Jamar Chase and Deebo Samuel. For tight end, I took Travis Kelce. For my two flex positions, I took Brandon Ayuk and Keenan Allen. For defense, I took the Cowboys defense, and kicker, I took Greg Joseph from the Vikings. My roommate, he took 49ers QB. Running backs, Christian
Which, by the
McCaffrey.
way, actually ended up being a great pick.
Yeah,
Didn't see
It
that
was.
coming, but
I mean the last game didn't help him, but
no, but
Can't win them all.
yeah. No, so running backs, Christian McCaffrey and Austin Eckler. Wide receivers, Stephon Diggs and Devontae Smith. Tight end, Dallas Goedert. Two flex players, Joe Mixon and Saquon Barkley. Defense, 49ers and kicker, Tyler Bass. Dexter's team, he took Jared Allen, Buffalo's quarterback.
Josh Allen.
Running what?
Josh Allen.
His name's Josh Allen.
What I say?
Jared.
Jared Allen? Oh, it's close enough. Greatest sacks, greatest D end of all time, so it's close enough.
Not wrong. Yeah,
My bad. My bad. Running backs, he took Tony Pollard and Dalvin Cook. Wide receivers, Justin Jefferson, CeeDee Lamb. Tight end, TJ Hawkinson. Two flex players, he took Christian Kirk and Tyler Lockett. Eagles defense, Robbie Gold, the kicker. And rounding out the bottom, Tanner took the Chargers quarterback. Running back,
Justin Herbert.
Justin Herbert. Running backs, Travis Etienne and Kenneth Walker. Wide receivers, AJ Brown, T. Higgins. Tight end, George Kittle. 2 flex players, KJ Osborne and Dawson Knox. Buffalo's defense and Evan McPherson's is his kicker. So I guess final results. My roommate ended up winning with a total of 252 points. That's something I should have mentioned. We were just doing total points, not like a weekly matchup thing, just total points through the whole playoffs. Obviously, if a player was eliminated, you couldn't add a new player on. You were stuck with the 10 that you drafted. So in some cases, teams that lost out in the first round and you had a player of theirs, you could not fill that position again. So my roommate, he had 252 points. I came in second with 210. Dexter came in third with 193. And Tanner brought up the bottom with 152. Let's see, the highest points scored was actually my quarterback, Joe Burrow, with 69 points. Classic.
It is classic, yeah.
So, but overall, I would like to say it was a good battle. It came right down to the end, but I think my roommate really just he came on strong in that first round and never looked back. So
He really did. He had, I mean, Purdy
Yeah.
had 43 points in that wild card game for your league, which is just insane. I mean, we haven't seen numbers like that in your league the whole season.
no,
Most of our quarterbacks have been in the high 20s, maybe low 30s. That's what
Yep.
we're seeing consistently through this too. But man, 43.2. That was real big. I mean,
he scored
in general, though,
130.
his picks are just solid. I mean, he did a great job at picking teams that made it further in the playoffs.
Yeah. Yeah, he scored 136 of his 252 in that first round. That's more than half his points there.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, obviously, with having Christian McCaffrey and Austin Eckler, both are really high on anyone's running back list. I believe Austin Eckler led the league this year in total touchdowns.
Yeah.
Christian McCaffrey, I'm sure, was following up, but I think towards the end of the season, the 49ers were really starting to use him in both the run and passing game. I mean, a very versatile player. So, he's always going to get you a lot of fantasy points. And surprisingly, he betted on the Giants to beat the Vikings, and they ended up winning. So he got Saquon Barkley an extra week.
Yeah.
So it was a smart picks on his end. He's definitely kind of a fantasy football guy. So
Yeah, that's good.
he listens to a lot of other podcasts to start the season, seeing who should be drafted, who to avoid. So
Yeah, I mean, I'd say my team in specific, I kind of I bet on the Vikings to win.
yeah, you
Didn't
kind
work
of
out. Didn't work out.
But-
I kind of didn't think I picked Tyler Lockett, which was kind of a tough pick for me. I don't think that was very good. He's good as a receiver. I understand that, but I mean, Seattle wasn't going anywhere this year. And I think I knew that deep down, but I thought maybe I could get one good game out of him. Didn't work out. Just is what it is. I mean, I'm really excited to see where this goes like next year, where we have more than 4 teams in there, and it's maybe a little bit harder to draft, and it means a little bit more drafting in certain positions.
Yep.
So we'll see. But Tanner, buddy, do you want to discuss your first overall pick of
I would love
Justin
to.
Herbert?
And let's
I
let's give a little backstory real quick, okay? So
what's this
my first
backstory?
since I had first pick, I took Joe Burrow.
Yeah.
Dexter came up next. He took Josh Allen. My roommate came up, took Christian McCaffrey. So as you can see where this is going, it's essentially wide open for picks here.
Lots of
Right?
quarterbacks out there.
Right, a lot of good quarterbacks still up on the board. I mean, with 4 teams, you can essentially take the top 4 quarterbacks and be pretty safe. Feel pretty safe. And
Yeah,
yes,
notice,
that's a little
Mahomes
backstory,
is
Tanner.
not on there.
Tanner, do you want to continue that story and let us know what your thought process was?
Look, I stand by my decision to take Justin Herbert with my first round pick.
As
Okay,
any QTA would. I mean, you can't go back.
No, I would do it again, honestly. If the same results played out, I would do it again. Justin Herbert wasn't my problem. My problem was my receiving core, honestly. I had nothing going on in the first 2 rounds of a receiving core. I think with the Chargers, they consistently play to the level of their competition. Granted, they came out and were up, 30 nothing, 33 nothing. I might be mixing that up with the Vikings Colts game from a few years ago, but I was like huge halftime lead, right?
I think that was the game where Trevor Lawrence threw 4 first half interceptions, correct?
Yes, that was their playoff
It
game.
was like 28,
So-
wasn't it?
28 maybe, 28, 27, something like that.
Mhm.
So that was a shocker. That the Chargers actually came out and were doing something. Like they weren't playing, and then they completely fell apart in the second half. So,
I mean, to be
but obviously
fair,
Justin,
they
or
did
not Justin
put up
Herbert.
20 points in the first half.
True. So
That's
I
it.
would say, I mean, obviously you knew Lawrence was not going to throw another 4 interceptions in the second half. Like logistically, like that just wasn't going to happen again. So I stand by it. I'm not upset by it. Herbert, I will take him all day, every day.
Can I point out something though?
What?
At the end of the game, I believe Trevor Lawrence was being interviewed, and what was one of the first things he said after that interview? He said
That was like
"You
a month
couldn't
ago, my guy.
have-
I don't know.
You couldn't have written a better script. I'm not saying that it's scripted, but there's evidence. So
Uh-huh.
Who will come up with that evidence? And
Right. Because what was it last year that the Raiders and Chargers both could have made it to the playoffs if they ended that game in a tie,
they didn't. It's crazy.
and then they didn't?
that's because again,
Yeah.
NFL
Someone went off
NFL
script.
didn't want to screw over whoever was going to get booted out.
Right. Uh-huh. No, I stand by my choices. When it comes around to our regular season draft again in August, September, whenever the season starts, whenever we do that, if Herbert's on the board, he's on my draft board. Okay, he's going to be circled high. New offensive coordinator. I'm not a Chargers fan. I do like the Chargers, but Kellen Moore coming in. Staley is still a question mark. I don't know.
Best of luck. I wish you the best of luck because I don't know if you saw the 49ers Cowboys game, but that last play, man, I think that they could have gone somewhere with that last play. You better get ready to see that.
I don't know what they were thinking on that play.
They weren't.
They weren't, clearly. But no, I think the Chargers, I think they got one more shot in them. If they don't do something this upcoming year, then I think it's time to really press the panic button over there in Los Angeles.
Well, one pick I got to ask, and I commented this when you drafted him. Kenneth Walker.
Who's he talking?
What was your thought process drafting him?
A solid pick. What do you mean? I think he, looking at the board here real quick, I think he had the third highest of running back scores. I'm not looking at flex. Did we have anyone else in the flex? No, fourth maybe? Fourth
No,
highest
I'm not
running back
saying
score in the.
I'm not saying that, but I can't remember who was left on the board at the time of the pick. Did you actually have a thought that they could actually win? They being Seattle. Was that? I mean,
I didn't think they had a chance at winning.
In my mind, because I guess in my mind, when I'm thinking about draft that's like this, I'm thinking, can this team make it to the second round? Are they going to play multiple games? That's why I didn't draft many. I had 2 players off the Chiefs because they had a first round bye. And I regret the running back. I'm not going to lie. I regret taking Jerick McKinnon over Pacheco. They were, in my mind, 2 players that I could have interchanged. And I chose the wrong one. But no, in my mind, when you're drafting in a draft like this, you're drafting to see who's going to play the most games and be the highest productive player in said games. And to me, I'm not drafting like a team from a team that I know is going to lose first round. Even if he could get you 20 points, that's 20 points in one game, whereas maybe 15 in two games, you get more points. So I was just curious if you could explain the thought on it, but
no, I mean, Kenneth Walker is a huge part of the Seattle offense. And I think the time it again was a solid pick. He's going to see a lot of production. He's going to see a lot of value. Obviously, we had your roommate whose immediate strategy was to go after a lot of the top running backs in the league. So I just wanted to make sure that I had a high touch running back there in my running back 2 position. Didn't have a lot of hope that the Seahawks would move on, but desperate times call for desperate measures. And if he's going to touch the ball, he's going to touch the ball. So that was really, really the thought process there. Again, I'm not upset by the pick. If you're looking at points, I think your strategy makes sense. Your logic makes sense that you want guys who are ideally going to play at least 2 games. But also at the same time, I mean, you look at some of the other guys on my team who just did not perform. I mean, AJ Brown played 2 games and had a total of 5 points. Kenneth Walker played 1 game and he had double that. So
yeah,
I'm not upset.
And again, it's all, I don't know, pardon me, it all comes down to luck, right? They don't call your number, you're not going to get points, and it's hard to do that. Case in point, like you're saying, AJ Brown, he had total for 2 rounds being the wide receiver number 1 for the Eagles, only five points. Let's see here. George Kittle, big tight end, top 3 tight end in the league. He got you 15 points, 16 points. Mm-hmm. So
yeah,
and I think
his first round production wasn't any better. Only 3 in the first round compared to Kenneth Walker's 12.
Yeah. No, I mean,
huh?
No, again, it's a solid. Anytime you can take a team's number 1 running back, you're not going to go wrong.
Hey, so, I just want you to remember one thing here. One thing out of this, because I'm taking a lot of heat that I don't think is warranted, seeing as how neither of you 2 have actually won this yet. Just keep that in mind. I won the inaugural year, and then your roommate came in and won the second year. So just kind of keep that in mind, Tyler. You have yet to prove.
So you are the Rams, is what you're saying. You won it all one year, and then you came back the next year and did worse than anyone else.
Hey, the cards didn't fall our way. All right, our quarterback goes down. Top targets on the team go down. A little bit of adversity. All right, but we won when it mattered.
True.
So just keep that nugget in mind there, Tyler.
And again, I mean, I don't want to keep crapping all over your team, but you did take a tight end as your other flex player. Now, with this not being a PPR league, that was kind of a bold strategy, and I'm just curious about that too. He did get you 8 points in the first game with a touchdown, but I mean,
I
that
don't
was-
understand why. Okay, I don't understand why I'm on the hot seat for this. You look at Stephon Diggs, 15.9
we'll
for your
we'll-
roommate.
We'll get to the other ones first. I think our main concern here was just you had some really like bold picks. You had some bold
Okay, not
strategy, and depending on how you look at it, they paid off in a way. I'll give you that. I
Yeah,
just don't.
look.
They're just bold strategy, and I don't think I would have done it.
okay. Well, you look at Dawson Knox there, 14.5 total points. You compare that to Stephon Diggs, 15.9. That comparing apples to apples there. What's the difference?
Well, that's
What are you doing?
Who else can we compare to? No one else had. I don't even know who else is in the Buffalo receiving room. Gabe Davis. Anyone take him? No.
No, but I feel
Um,
like that was kind
no
of
one took Cole Beasley. So I don't know what's wrong with taking Dawson. No, obviously I don't remember anyone else on the board here at this point. But
well, okay. First off, Dawson Knox, I'm pretty sure had 3 touchdowns the whole year.
you got him in the
Was it-
postseason though. That's all that matters.
No, but that's the thing, right? Like
You
regular
want
season
points,
regular season carries into the postseason.
right? And he got a touchdown in the
prime
postseason.
A prime example is Stephon Diggs. His last like 4 weeks in the regular season, he didn't do crap. And you're right. In the playoffs, he had a total of 15 points, 16 points, and 12 of those points came in the first round. I mean, that carries over. Some guy you can have a good game. You can have a good game. I'm not saying that, because you took him that was a bad pick. He had a decent game with 8 points. I've just never seen someone take a tight end of Dawson Knox's caliber as a flex player.
Hey, just remember, Tyler. I've been here, done that. All right. Kickers are people too, and we love a good tight end. All right. I've taken Rob Gronkowski with the #1 overall draft pick in fantasy before. I would do it again.
Well, yeah, that's because he was in his prime. Dawson Knox is not in his prime.
Does he see a lot of balls? And does he see a lot of balls in the red zone? Yes and yes.
But again, this ain't a
We
PPR.
want points. What's a touchdown? 6 points.
6 points. That
6
is-
points. All I care is 6 points.
Okay, and I'll happily admit this because I didn't realize it until after the draft. I took
But
a
you're gonna
Vikings
admit
kicker.
something?
I took a Vikings kicker in the postseason.
Yeah, that was dumb.
Yeah, see, I'm not shying away from it. I didn't realize that. He got me 6 points, which is decent. But
I'm-
Vikings kicker, they choke in the postseason.
yeah, should have done better research, my guy.
My dumb ass, I took Zeke Elliott thinking he was gonna pop off for some red zone touchdowns. Nope.
You
Nope.
didn't.
No, he didn't. I took Jerick McKinnon instead of Isaiah Pacheco. We all make mistakes.
You do.
I do. Okay, let's shift gears a little bit, okay? Let's start giving shit to Dexter. Dexter went all in on the Vikings.
Yeah.
I don't think he regrets it. Not any of us besides me regret our picks.
No, I don't regret it at all. My thought process is everyone was talking shit about the Vikings. And as I mean, I was too. But I thought, somebody has to light a fire under them and just be like, hey, you know what? Look what everyone's saying about us. We got to teach them what we're really about. And they did not. I learned my lesson. I mean, that's all I have to say. I went with Tanner's main team, and it bit me in the butt. Live and you learn. So go ahead, keep coming at me, Tyler.
Well, there's nothing left because you didn't play in the second or third round of the playoffs. So
I'm sorry, what was that?
hey, I'm proud of you though, Robbie.
You want to
Gould,
go over the overall points again, real
16
quick?
16 points in back-to-back rounds. You know why? Because kickers are people too.
That was impressive. Yeah, Robbie Gould. Yeah, he went off there.
That was steal of the draft right there.
It really was.
I think
33 points for a kicker.
the
overall.
difference that kickers are people too. You don't see a kicker going in the second or third round. I'm sorry.
You should.
I don't think anyone has taken a fantasy kicker in the third high rounds. It's typically the later the third or fourth from the end. So
Well, they should start taking kickers a little bit sooner because Robbie Gould, who I think was the fourth highest point producer in this postseason league.
all right, Tanner. Then next season, when
Ooh,
fantasy
maybe
football
fifth.
starts to come around, I want you to take a kicker first overall. Then
Bet.
you will not do it. Trust me, you will
I'll
not
take a kicker.
because there's a quarterback. There are people that just score more than kickers.
I'm pretty sure he picked Justin Tucker like first overall a couple years ago.
I'll take two kickers. I will carry
might have
two
taken
kickers
him
on my
as the-
roster.
He might have taken him as the first kicker off the board, but he didn't take him first overall.
Maybe.
There's-
Yeah.
So
I'll do it. I'm not afraid. I love my kickers. All right.
You're afraid. You're afraid to do it.
I will do it. When are we drafting? I'll put it on the calendar right now.
I don't know yet because there's a couple things we need to talk about.
All right. Well,
Here's
let's start wrapping this up. That was a good episode here.
I like this. Yeah. Feels good. It's only going to get better,
Only direction is up from here. Let's
Tyler,
see, August.
Any sign-off thoughts, buddy?
Sign off thoughts. I wish Logan could have made it on. That
He'll be here next week.
rest in peace. He's been a good friend to us, and
Oh, I won't be here next week. So he'll take my place.
we'll have to have a special guest on then.
There you go.
Yeah, I won't be here in a couple weeks, but we'll deal with that later.
That's the best part about having so many people on this.
Jordan,
We're
it
so
sounds
good at this.
good. It's just me and you, Jordan.
All right, let's do it.
We're going strong.
I'm just surprised you admit something, Tyler. I'm still thinking about that.
I know. It's not something I like to do. It's not something that I'm proud to do, but
Keep you humble.
yeah, exactly. I try and be
humble all the time, man. Jeez. All right, fellas, this is a good episode.
Yep.
I'm gonna hop
Yeah,
back
See
on.
you next week. This was the Step Into Our Phone Booth podcast. So hope
Brought to you
everyone
by the boys.
has a good week coming up and a good weekend. So
Amen to that.